This is a special breaking news edition of Numbers Over Nonsense. I'm your boy Dave CO Coles. And yes, I'm here by myself. Shout out to Matt, shout out to Reese. But like I said, this is a very, very special breaking news edition of the show. And I'm excited. I got a smile on my face. I am a diehard Cowboys fan. And today, we finally did something. We made a trade. And we got George Pickens Jr. George Pickens Jr. for a third-round pick. Damn. Jerry said a big trade was coming. We didn't know what it was. We always thought Jerry's talking shit. Finally, Jerry stood on business today and got CeeDee Lamb a phenomenal number 2 if he keep his head together. George Pickens is a nice young wide receiver. Now, we also seen him have a lot of hiccups throughout his career as well. Not finishing plays, complaining too much when you don't get the ball. Bruh, you're coming to Dallas. You're not the number one option. Sorry. I'm telling you that right now. Anytime you wear 88 in Dallas, you are the number one option. So CeeDee Lamb is the number one option. George can definitely get a lot done for sure with us and earn that big contract that he wants to have. Whether it's with us or not, I don't know. But George, it's up to you how you play, buddy. But listen, having George Pickens with CeeDee Lamb makes my offense more dynamic, for sure, 1,000%. We got two quote unquote number one wide receivers, a running back by committee. Dak Prescott's coming off the injury. And I do believe within the next 2 years, all three of my Tylers will be Pro Bowlers, if not all pros. So the offense should be clicking. Dak, it's on you, buddy. It's on you. It's always pretty much been on you, but you have weapons. Of course you got CeeDee Lamb, but now having George, it's really on you, buddy. You and Schottenheimer better get y'all stuff together, because if not, both of y'all be out of town at the end of the year. But back to this George Pickens pickup. George Pickens is only in his third year of his NFL career. George Pickens put up 1,000-yard receiving in his second year. I think his first year was like 800, and I think last year was 900. So yeah. Never had double-digit touchdowns in his career yet. The most he ever had is 5. And that was the year he went over 1,000 yards. Last year he only had 3. So George has some work to do still as become a super dynamic wide receiver that he wants to be in this league. But being number 2 to a CeeDee Lamb can definitely pay off for him. And overall it can help out my team. The team success should definitely come. I know a lot of people want to put them in the top 5 as the top 5 duo. It's kind of hard for me to say that right now. I understand it, like the potential of it. Yes, I mean I still have other wide receivers duos ahead of them. But I do believe that they could for sure be in that group with them as well. This makes my, like I said earlier, it makes my offense more dynamic. Am I happy about this trade? Yes. 'Cause going into this season, if CeeDee Lamb didn't get no help, it's easy to double him, and who knows where he's gonna go then. Jalen Tolbert definitely still has to step up this year for us. Ferguson gonna have to show out more of him being a poor version of Travis Kelce, which is not a diss, but it just is what it is. You're a poor version of Travis Kelce. But we're gonna have to see more from everybody. George Pickens takes the top off the defense a little bit more, helps CeeDee Lamb work the slot. CeeDee Lamb could pretty much go anywhere, but he probably worked the slot a little bit more. Tolbert comes in and helps out. Running back by committees, I'm kind of scared about that still. I mean, go sign Nick Chubb. Dallas, go sign Nick Chubb. But today in Dallas, we have two number one wide receivers, a quarterback coming off an injury, a young offensive line, a defense that still need pieces. Am I saying we're gonna win the Super Bowl? Hell no. I'm not saying that. Am I saying that we can fight for the division? Yeah, we can fight for the division still. If you really look at our division, every team has a dynamic duo except for the Giants. At wide receiver, you got AJ and Smitty. You got Debo and Scary Terry. Now you give me George and CeeDee Lamb. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And the potential of where it can go is just amazing to think of. I I don't understand what the Steelers is doing. Um, it's either one or two things. Like my cousin Matt and everybody was saying in the group chat that we have. It's either one or two things. They sent Mike Tomlin to get out of there, or they about to sign him to a big contract and he can do whatever he wants. It's one or two things going to happen with Mike Tomlin right now. The Steelers still don't have a wide receiver. I mean, still don't have a running. I mean, still don't have a. Yeah, don't have a running back neither. I mean, they got Warren, but they still don't have a quarterback. They're banking on a 40-year-old quarterback to come back and Aaron Rodgers and play for y'all. If I'm DK Metcalf, I'm kind of pissed right now because I mean, I'm happy because I got my money, but I'm kind of pissed when it comes to the playing on the field because you was thinking that you was gonna have George and y'all two can be a 1-2 combo, and that would be more scary. But them giving up George, it makes you think like, what is the ultimate plan about it? Still they gave T.J. Watt his money. He still wants some money. The Steelers got some explaining to do when it comes to a lot of things they do. Now, one thing the Steelers have done when they let go of a wide receiver from the Steelers, they have not been that good when they left Pittsburgh. And I can say that, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the later years. Now, the Santonio Holmes and the Plaxico Burress, it's a little different. But I'm talking about the CTE case himself, Antonio Brown. When he left the Steelers, he ain't been right. Yes, he won a Super Bowl, but he's with Tom Brady. Claiborne. They got a second round pick for him, and he hasn't done nothing. DeAndre Johnson. Like I heard somebody say, he must got the best frequent flyer miles in the country in the last year, and probably got all the Marriott points you can have because he's been on the move. So that gives me like a little worry, like did the Steelers see something and say, "Yo, F it, we can just get a third round pick, and just get off of them, and let somebody else have to deal with them." Pretty much the AB, the Le'Veon Bell situation where your production is good, but you're not worth it is a headache. So, but I hope that George, George is only what 24, I think. So he's still young. So hopefully coming down to Dallas, Jerry Jones loves them dynamic players. So I know Jerry Jones will definitely probably have to, put the people around him, put the right people around him, and hopefully he can learn from CD and learn from some of the professionals. I mean, Dak is a great professional to learn from. CD Lamb ain't had no off the field troubles. Just following like a couple of their footsteps, and he'll be fine in Dallas. Just make plays on the field, and they'll treat you like a king in Dallas. I'll tell you that right now. Long as George come into this situation knowing that he's not the number one, bro, you're not the number one. There's no real pressure on you. Just come in and do your job and you're fine. Like I said, as long as you wear 88 in Dallas, you are the number one wide receiver. So George, you can't wear 88. So brother, you a nice piece to the offense that we having going on in Dallas and what we need. Um, but I am happy though. Jerry Jones stood on his word and finally said we had a big trade coming down the line, and it wasn't cap, it wasn't bullshit. He actually made a nice trade, especially if it works out, because we got him for a third round pick. A third round pick for George. He was the second round pick when he got picked. So I mean, a 24-year-old wide receiver that got good production, 800 800 his rookie year, over 1,000 his second year, and 900 last year. And he was the number one. So just imagine what could happen with him being a number two. The NFC East is very scary. When you look at the offensive dynamics that we have in the, going on in our division. Washington with Jaden Daniels. Like I said, Debo and Scary Terry. Then of course, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, and Smitty and AJ Brown. And then now Dallas, finally trying to get past being, down there with the Giants. We getting George Pickens makes us have a dynamic duo. Dynamic duo that we haven't had in Dallas when it comes to the wide receiver position in a long time, man. A long time having two dynamic wide receivers. Yeah, haven't had it. So Dak, it's on you, brother. I know you coming off the leg injury or the hamstring. I think you had a hamstring last year, but it's on you. Jerry Jones is surrounding you slowly with, minus the running back position, probably the best you had at the wide receivers in a long time. Like I said, Tolbert has to step up this year. He has to. He has to. Tolbert, you compared yourself to Justin Jefferson at one point, and I thought you was crazy. Still think you're crazy for saying that because you the same height, same weight. You're not the same player though. But now you said it. Now stand on it, because if you don't produce, you be going too. In Dallas, like I say, I'm a realistic fan. I have a winning record for this season coming up. Maybe a playoff berth, but I don't really see us doing nothing more than that because our defense is not dynamic enough, in my opinion. But we should do good things. I expecting us to be a top 10 offense with the weapons that we have, passing the ball for sure. I expect us to, like I said, at least have a winning record for sure. It should be a three-headed monster for the NFC East. And we do like we normally do. We beat each other up in the East, and then, hopefully we all of us take advantage of the games outside of the NFC East. But like I said, it's a good day in Dallas. Jerry Jones, you stood on business today, brother. Finally, for the first time in a long time, you actually did something that I'm actually happy to say you did. When I woke up to the news this morning, I didn't believe it was going to happen. Like my group of chat tell you, I was just like, man, that shit ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna pull the trigger. Then when I looked and seen that it happened, I was, excited, but not overly excited, because I feel like it's a reason why you give up an asset like George Pickens. Is he that much of a headache? To where his production is not matching the headache that he can be in the building. He's from Georgia. He's a Georgia Bulldog. The reason why he didn't go in the first round because everybody expected him to have more speed than what he had, but overall he's been more than solid piece in the NFL, especially playing with, the quarterback cell that he been through three different quarterbacks in his career already. So he has had a solid quarterback. If Dak stay healthy, Dak is our quarterback, so that's not an issue at all. So hopefully George can develop more in Dallas. Put on the show in Dallas, bro, because if you want to put on the show, this is the biggest stage you can do it in the NFL. You got 100,000 people. So if you fuck up, 100,000 people gonna see you, and if you do good, 100,000 people gonna see you. So just remember that. You're gonna get talked about even more. You're gonna be more scrutinized when you come to Dallas. If you give up on the play, yeah, you got scrutinized because you gave up on the play in the playoffs. Think about it in the regular season. Oh yeah, we will scrutinize you here too. And to all them, outlets that will do it too. And Stephen A. Smith, listen, you always want to talk about the Cowboys, you always want to do this and do that, bro. You are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Stand with your team. That's all I say. You a New York Knicks fan. Stand with your teams. You always want to talk about Dallas. I understand Dallas bring ratings. I understand all that. But stand with your team. You laughing at my Cowboys for picking up George Pickens? Like, make that make sense. Like, you got DK Metcalf. DK went there thinking that it was going to be a 1-2 monster. Y'all got no quarterback. Mason Rudolph is your quarterback. Let's be real. Who's laughing now? And if Aaron Rodgers do come, what you got him for a year, and then he gonna retire and then come back out and go play for Minnesota or something? Come on. Fucking weirdo. For real, for real. But like I said, Dallas, all around ESPN News and all over X, and when you see the Cowboys, you see the Star, we in the news. We always in the news. I like that. So we Dallas Cowboys. I like the offense that we're building. I like the pieces that we have. We have a number 2 wide receiver, finally, that can go with CeeDee Lamb. So as I said earlier, I talked to my crew in the group chat, and we were talking about, I didn't believe that this duo, even together right now, is a top 5 duo. So I'm gonna tell you other people I put above, my team. Of course, I put Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, for sure. I put A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I put Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I put Justin Jefferson and Addison. I put St. Brown and Williams from Detroit. And, even though this group hasn't been on the field together yet, I have put Puka Nacua and Devontae Smith. And then I put, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Couple people in my crew actually, came back at me and said that they think I was wrong. I could see what they're saying. But I don't know. George gonna have to show me something. George gonna have to show me more consistent ball for me to put him in, put us as a top 5 duo right now. We know what CeeDee Lamb's gonna bring us: 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, close to 10. This be a dynamic piece to our offense. Line up anywhere we put him. X, Y, Z, don't matter. He plays all positions. But now having this piece like George Pickens, who's no shot to Brandon Cooks, but Brandon Cooks is a smaller wide receiver. Now us having a big body wide receiver, it's more dynamic now than, Brandon Cooks get past it, take the top off the defense, but he can only do but so much. He's not a 50-50 ball wide receiver. George Pickens is a 50-50 ball wide receiver. So, and we all know what CeeDee Lamb does. But like I said, it's a beautiful day to be a Cowboys fan right now. I know we ain't even hit training camp yet. We ain't do a lot of things yet. We still gotta get Micah Parsons signed. We gotta get 11 from heaven signed. Please. Jerry Jones, don't do nothing else. Get Micah Parsons signed. But until then, this is a special news edition, breaking news edition of Numbers Over Nonsense. I'm your boy Dave CEO Coles, and yes, I am a Dallas Cowboy fan.